Corley Moore, talking to you for a few short minutes while we're waiting for the scrap to begin. The scrap will be starting here in just a few minutes, and I'm going to talk to you while everybody's logging in. I'm going to talk to you about becoming a vigilante. If you are not a vigilante, why not? It is a collection of the coolest cats from across the world, firefighters from around the world getting together in a group and supporting each other. It's an amazing group to be a part of. Every day, people are posting their questions, their problems, their advice. It is powerful to belong to. One of the best collections of people, and you can be a part of it. We got stuff like the swag. The swag is awesome. Don't get me wrong. The swag is awesome. That's not what it's about, but you got vigilante only swag, like the custom bookmarks made by Taylor's Tins for the vigilantes. You got stuff like the blacked out vigilante hats and the vigilante shirts, all available in the exclusive vigilante only shop, which all of that stuff is sold, not, I don't want to say at no markup, but like at the lowest possible price you can basically sell it for. And so, and it's not even about the swag, although that's just the awesome part of it. We do forums. We're on forum number 13 or 14. It's coming up. And it is some of the best, most gifted subject matter experts coming in, and they have conversations. It's like a scrap. Think of the scrap, but you're in it also in the call, able to ask and have conversations and talk. It's an amazing time. We do, I've got the 4th episode of the Fire Away coming up this month. And in a Fire Away, I go live and just field questions. People post questions, field questions, and we answer and discuss those questions from firefighters across the world. It's a good time. The Fire Aways, the forums. It's an amazing time. Not to mention, every time there's a conference and vigilantes get together, we have a vigilante meetup. We're in the process of forming traditions that are gonna make, and how those happen and what it means when you get like your vigilante coin, which is also another thing that's pretty freaking cool, is the vigilante coin, the blackout coin. And they're numbered, they're exclusive, and we're figuring out how that's gonna work out when we get together in person. We're supposed to recite the creed. We do this for others. Push, train, learn, master ourselves. Never easy. Never quit. Man, if you're not a member of the Vigilantes, I'm just asking you, why not? I wanted to talk to you for a few minutes while the scrap is about to start. You can go to firehousevigilance.com. $5 a month. You're a member of the Vigilantes. You can also sign up for a year if you prefer that over the subscription. Firehousevigilance.com. Become a member today, man. You will not regret it. The scrap will be starting soon. Thanks for listening to me.
I truly became a vigilante because I wanted to see what else Corley was doing with his with the Firehouse Vigilance branding. Like, I know he's a humble dude. He eats humble pie probably better than most people I've ever met, right? But he's connected so many people in this fire service.
Corley Moore, Firehouse Vigilance. It is weekly scrap number 222. Bobby Eckert is a second-generation fireman. He is in Camden, New Jersey Fire Department. He holds a BS in Public Safety Administration from Newman University. He is a Pro Board Level 2 instructor. Along with his wife, Bryn Lee, they own and operate Eckert Fire Tactics, LLC. He is one of my favorite instructors. In fact, when I go to FDIC, I've been there twice. And twice I have caught his class. I try to stay on the front row, and I try to take, because he is, I mean that from the bottom of my heart, one of my favorite instructors. He is never afraid to share his opinions, and I look forward to yet another amazing scrap with my brother, Bobby Eckert. Welcome to scrap episode number 222.
Chief, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm excited, brother. I really am. Is there anything I missed? Anything you would like to add?
I always see you in the front row, and I appreciate that. And you do take notes if people don't. If you do, so
No, there is. There's no doubt. Even when it's called like the Idiot's Guide or the Dummies, whatever it is, I'm there, man. I'm there because that's what that's who it's aimed at.
I always appreciate the support. I'm proud to be back. It's trifecta, third time. I'm excited.
This is the charm. Everybody, scrap vigilantes, everybody out there. There's going to be an after party afterwards. I just asked Bobby, hey, will you hang out in after the show for the after party? Because the vigilantes love to roast the guest, supposedly. And he said, absolutely. So if you want to be a part of it, go to firehousevigilance.com, become a part of it. Let me read a few things because there's so much hype right now. This is going to be epic. That comes from Matt Ebersold. So that sets the stage right out the gate. Missed the last. Oh, okay. I love it. Missed the last few. Excited to be joining in live. Hello from Florida. That comes from Cody. Cody Brooks, my man. Logan Hinkle says, yo, here we go. Let's go, brother Bobby from Fireman 718. Little Rock checking in from Logan Hinkle. Man, pumped. And they managed to put in 2 E's and like 7 D's and type pumped. That comes from Zach Swainson. So absolutely. And that's just a few of them. Steve Kaiser, my man, checking in from Australia. Brother, I'm going to figure out a way. You get the swag, I'll get it to you. Okay. 100%. I understand shipping to Australia.
We know an Australian fireman.
Okay.
Bring it to FDIC. We can make that connection happen. He'll be there.
There we go. We're gonna work it. We're gonna work. And maybe we may be talking about.
It's a big island. I get it, but I mean, at least it's not U.S. versus Australia.
Sure.
It's shipping, you know what I mean? So
LFG, lots of rocker horns. Notes are for pros, even if they're on scraps of paper. That comes from Dennis Laguerre. Oh, I'm reading some dude. Absolutely.
Dennis here. Hi, Dennis. How you doing?
Absolutely, man. We got what do you call it? The absolute cream of the crop checking in. All right, here we go. On to the sponsors. Key Hose, the hose experts. Check them out online at keyhose.com. Follow them on Facebook. Then this is new. This is a new one for me, okay? The affordable bailout prop. Firefighter, owned and operated. The affordable bailout prop allows you to practice window bailouts using a personal escape system, ladder bailouts, or ladder high points. The affordable bailout prop can roll under any 12-foot overhead door so you can train on the apparatus floor or in the parking lot. Call Steve or Dennis at 844-55-TOWER or drop an email to info@affordabledrilltowers.com.
I saw it in person. The thing's awesome.
Oh, that's dope, man. I love hearing that. I really do. Firestationfurniture.com. Are they excited? I think so. A complete line of quality furniture for your firehouse. Firefighter owned and operated. They understand the strain firefighters put on furniture and offer furniture that's built to last. Visit www.firestationfurniture.com for more information. And this is the thing I love about the sponsors is because it's not just it's actual firefighters doing stuff and is excited about the scrap and excited about the guests.
Exciting, right?
No, absolutely. And of course, Blue Collar Fire Training, brand new sponsor, man. Check them out when you get a chance. Blue Collar Fire Training.
They're the ones that jumped on. Nice people.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely, brother.
They are good human beings doing good things.
Thank you. And so, with all that being said, we're ready to get to the scrap proper. Let me see what I missed here. There's so many. I got to pull up Sam, you're in charge of pulling good questions. Give me 1 second, Bobby, while I catch up on what I'm supposed to be doing. There we go. Rock on. Okay. First thing I want to throw at you, and here's what I'm trying to figure out the best way to. It's Bobby Eckert on the scrap, which is one of my favorite things in the world, and say you're not afraid to speak your opinion ever. But let's go with engine boss, truck boss, riding the front seat, training fires, routine emergencies. Everybody, Sam is here. Oh, Romagus, Kyle Romagus is here. I'm sorry, I did not mean to leave you out, my brother. Kyle Romagus is here. I thought he was busy tonight, so my bad. Kyle Romagus is here grabbing questions. So if you have questions, please throw them up in the chat. Kyle Romagus will throw them at us. But engine boss, truck boss, riding the front seat, training fires, routine emergencies. Let's go, brother. Talk to me.
Yeah. So when you sent me the other day, when you sent me some questions, because it was, this is our third time on, I listened to those scraps and I realized that I said, a lot. So I'm not trying to say, this evening. That being said, I think it's good to talk about some company officer stuff.
Love it.
Because a lot of the stuff out there that I see is more focused towards like leadership, like how to be a good leader, like as a person or a human being and stuff like that. And we really don't get into like the meat and potatoes of being like an engine or a truck boss.
Right on.
So for some people, whether you're a career volunteer, especially in the volunteer world right now, you might have just got voted in or put in a position where you start to be a boss January 1st or February 1st or January, whatever it is, the first of the year. And there's a lot that goes into riding that right front seat that I think people that have maybe watched it, been ridden by other people, don't realize what goes into sitting in that seat and making the decisions on a daily basis for all the emergencies that people call 911 for, right? So from like gas leaks to CO to whatever. And one of my biggest pet peeves, and there's no secret that I absolutely can't stand the Firefighter 1 curriculum throughout the 50 states. And I want to say this to everybody, and I'm so happy, Corley, to be on your podcast to be able to say this. I am not trashing any fire instructor out there that teaches at a local fire academy. You guys and gals do a great job of preparing firefighters for emergencies. This isn't a shot at you. It's a shot at the curriculum you have to teach. So for anybody who's a boss, right, and you get a new firefighter, right, maybe you're an engine. So when somebody calls 911 and say, hey, I have my carbon monoxide detector's going off, they typically send a fire engine. Well, that firefighter who's newly minted from the fire academy, in his Firefighter 1 class, how was his carbon monoxide module?
Right. No, it doesn't even exist.
Did he learn how to read a carbon monoxide detector?
Right.
Did he learn anything about the explosive range, or is it, is
Right.
it heavier or lighter than air? Like nothing.
Right. Right.
So as a fire officer, when you're in that seat and you go to a routine emergency, all eyes are on you, right? Like you got to perform. You're the fire department. And typically in the fire service, right, when John and Nancy Q Public call and complain about the fire department, it's a routine emergency. Because when we make grave tactical mistakes on the fire ground and burn their fucking house to the ground, they usually show up at cookie trays and say, thank you for your service.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
They're usually calling the fire chief because they track mud through my house for a carbon monoxide emergency. So being a fire officer is a lot more entailed than just firefighting, right? We have to get everybody ready for all the runs that we handle on a daily basis. That being said, we also have to prepare for the fire. So there's a lot that goes on there. And some people just want to jump right in that right front seat thinking like radio, pedal, siren, air horn, niffers, it's exciting, light blue shirt, whatever you get. And, it's an exciting time. Not thinking about what you have to deal with, the repercussions of your people aren't being prepared for the emergency.
Dude, I love it.
It's all about getting your people prepared for anything somebody is going to call 911 for and have the fire department show up for. We're literally the last line of defense. Like people cannot depend on any other public entity. I just put something out on the trash the other day, and I watched my trash men not lift it. And I found out because they're union, they can't lift it.
Okay.
So if the trash men can't lift it, what does that say? But the fire department will do whatever you need us to do, right? That's what we're there for. That's my analogy on that one. But that's what we're there for. So it's more about preparing people for every single solitary thing that we do under the blanket of what we cover.
I love it, man. I know there's the thing I always say, which is people call 911 because they've exhausted every possibility out there. If they could fix it, they would have already done it. Generally speaking, I know there's people that's the default, but generally speaking, they've done everything they can do to fix it. Now they're calling 911. And once they call 911, man, there is no 912. Like
there's not, or they just don't know. They just don't know. But how are we preparing our firefighters? Right. That's all. It kind of like sidesteps the question. But as a company officer, when you get in that seat, you need to turn around and look at your personnel and say, where are their strengths and weaknesses?
Right on.
And what do I need to do to fix them to get them to my knowledge level and, get them ready for whatever we're going to encounter on our shift or when we go to the firehouse or whatever it is.
No, I love it. I love it.
The fire service seems to be, with social media, everything goes on, everybody is me, me, me. The fire service isn't about us. It's about the people that we serve, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like we put our hand on the Bible and swear. And there's nobody in charge of the fire service. Like there's not a president of the fire service. There's not one person we look up to and salute and say, you're the president of fire service. The firefighters control the fire service. So how we set the tempo of the product we're putting out, and we should have a lot of pride in the product we're putting out, no matter what it is. 2 a.m, your carbon monoxide detector battery's dead, but you felt the need to be anxious enough to call me. I'm going to give you my 100% at 2 a.m, no matter what. And there's nobody that hates getting out of bed more than I do, but you called me, so I'm there. And I'm going to do what I can do to make your situation better. And, the fire service is getting to be me, 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 me. Safety, 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 safety. No, it's them, 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 them. All the time. That's it. People will call. That's what we're there for.
Boom. Dude, that might be the soundbite of the night. I hope I didn't walk on it. Dude, I love that. Let me ask you this, because you travel a lot and you speak a lot across the country. So it's not just your personal experience where you're at in your personal department, but as you travel and speak, what do you feel like is the number one obstacle towards that mindset infecting everyone?
Each other.
Ooh.
Each other. There's so much ego out there. It's insane. I mean, people think they're better than each other because of whatever reason. I don't even know. The fire service is a wild place of negativity where it should be a place of positivity. I said on your podcast before, and I'll say it to the day I die, and the person who told me, his name's Jason Urban, okay? And nobody hates firemen more than their firemen. Like, we're all looking for each other to fail. Why aren't we looking for each other to succeed and put each other in positions to thrive? But again, and I say it every time I lecture, it's the only job that I've known where you can totally make a tactical error and burn somebody's house to the ground. And they're literally so thankful that you drove there, they're giving you a frigging cookie tray and saying, thank you for your service. Meanwhile, you burnt their house to the ground. To the ground.
Because of
a lot of reasons. Could be leadership, could be your training, could be whatever. And, I had people on Facebook, again, I'm not trashing the Fire One instructors. I'm trashing the system.
Sure.
The state I live in, you leave Fire One, you don't have to hook a ceiling. You don't have to extinguish a fire. It's not a JPR. But your hazmat,
insert whatever tech.
Yeah, carbon, texture, color, whatever it is. My kids, anybody can read an ERG guidebook. A blind person can read an ERG guidebook. Who's using the ERG guidebook? God bless you if you have. I mean, I'm probably, for saying that, somebody's going to come at me, but it is what it is.
I love it, man.
It's a cup holder. You put it on the doghouse, put your cup on it. It's very flat. Thing's fantastic.
Man, dude, there is so much coming at you right now. I love it already. Spot on from Josh Johnson. It's about the Bengals tonight. Bobby, I don't know who's playing who tonight, so
I don't like football, man. It's weird.
I'll leave it alone. I'm late, but let's freaking go. That comes from Daniel Harris. The go was all caps, so I had to shout it. How soon before Mrs. Smith starts asking questions about how we do our job, or they start asking about our training or lack thereof? That comes from
who's asking that?
David Stender.
I know Dave personally.
Yeah,
and
he's a good dude.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. People are going to get sued, and you're going to sit in litigation from somebody who's a subject matter expert, who is an author of books, and they're going to bury you with their fire experience. They're going to bury you, and you're going to have to speak to it. You really are.
Mm-hmm. No, that's absolutely on point. Coming at you. I'm just trying to catch you up. The glowworms have been attacked. Speaking facts. Oh, all in attitude, all out effort every time. Oh, dude, there's so much. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for your first questions coming from the audience?
Yes, go.
Always. Gerard Mann says, I'll fire the first question. Bobby, what are the 3 most important attributes that instructors must have?
First off, Gerard is your Australian connection. He'll be at FDIC. If you need to ship things, it's going to go through Gerard.
Okay.
I think the number one thing a fire instructor should have is humility. They need to have humility and be able to resonate with the folks that are teaching, that they're instructing to, right? They need to be able to get on their level and understand that maybe where they operate, where the fire instructor operates on a daily basis, is very different from where, Jane Doe, who came to take the class, she's in, ABC, Iowa.
Right.
And I'm not taking a shot at Iowa. I'm sorry.
Right. No,
I'm just saying,
100%.
like,
You get your point.
and maybe, her operational reality is different. So I say this often. It's getting on people's operational reality that makes or breaks you as a fire instructor, understanding what they do and how they operate, and building a program around, through your experience, how they could make themselves, their operational reality, better, right? Number 2 is an extreme knowledge of 2 things: building instruction and fire behavior. Okay. And I'm not talking about following some of the building instruction pages on Facebook. I'm talking about having an intimate knowledge, reading Chief Dunn's book of Collapse of Burning Buildings, 2nd edition, understanding it, getting on the street, seeing these buildings, understanding it. So when somebody approaches you and say, oh, I saw a study done and they did this. Again, and I said this on one of your last scraps, and I didn't want to repeat myself. I'm going to repeat myself. Most of the studies done are done in type 5 wood frame construction. That's fantastic. Come to work with me. I'm surrounded by type 3 ordinary.
Right on.
Your study fire burns different and travels very differently in all 5 types of building construction. So understanding that is going to be able to help you translate to people, again, their operational reality, where they operate at. And number 3 is an upbeat, happy, great attitude. Not a shit talker on somebody else's work or an Instagram page or whatever. Worrying about where you're at, where you are in the moment, and really focusing on making that person a better firefighter. The best emails I receive, and the text, the phone calls, or when somebody takes one of our classes where my instructors that work for me were able to get a hold of them, and the feedback from them operationally on the fire ground is positive, and makes us feel like $1 million. And that's the impact you want to have as a fire instructor.
Dude, I love it, dude. What a phenomenal answer. If you get nothing else out of this entire scrap, which we're just scratching the surface. If you get nothing else in the answer to that question, thank you from Australia for the question, first of all. And following in,
Rosamond,
I love it. Joe Stan following up right on the heels of that question. Bobby, what is the number 1 mistake an instructor can make?
Teaching something that they do not have experience in. Not training experience, street experience, applicable firefighting experience. Just because you've done it once doesn't mean you're good at it. I really enjoy baking. I love to cook. I'm a good cook. I enjoy baking, but I don't do it well. I burn everything from cookies to bread to cakes. It's not my thing, right? I try.
Right.
It's not my thing. I would never teach a baking class.
Pretty straightforward answer. Michael Ramirez coming at you. I love Michael. Thank you, brother. Bobby E. Did you ever have do you like Bobby E? Is that a good nickname?
I mean, it sounds gangster. I'm into it.
All right. Bobby E. Did you ever have a fear of speaking / instructing in front of a crowd? If you did, how did you overcome it?
Yes, I actually am a child stutterer. I stuttered when I went to take my captain's exam for the New Jersey State Civil Service system. You're score weighs heavily on your oral portion. I paid $5,000 to meet a man in New York City who specializes in breaking stuttering, and it worked for me.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's phenomenal, brother. I had no idea, man. I would never have guessed it from seeing you speak and instruct.
It comes in my head, and I'm able to work through it.
Did he make you understand why you had that problem? Or, I mean, I'm digging in. I'm just.
Yeah, he kind of like broke it down and built it back up for me. But I'll tell you what, Corley, do you know the number one profession, the profession that has the most learning disabilities?
No, I had no idea.
It's a firefighter.
I was going to say, I'm wondering because the reason you asked the question, if
It's
it
a
was
firefighter. So
that
to get back to instructing, the way firefighter A learns, the way firefighter B learns, and the way firefighter C learns are all different.
right. And they all got their own problems and
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's where humility comes in on getting on their level.
Zach Swainson wants to know, Bobby, how long were you in the fire service before you decided to start instructing?
I was I was probably career for about. I started teaching about like 2012ish at Fire Academy. So I was on the job in the city for about 6 to 7 years. So I was probably like wrapping up my entire career, like 11 years, 12 years as a firefighter 1 certified fireman, not counting my like junior fire years. And I, just dipping my toes in the fire. One thing, like, hey, can you go show them how to turn a hydrant on? I know.
Right.
Yeah, no problem. I got that. Yeah, here's a hydrant. Turn it on.
Love it, man. Tyler Whitfield's asking you, are you good with like, there's so many questions. I'm just trying to keep up. So it's you. It's all Bobby. So just hit my 6-month mark as a company officer. I ride engines, trucks, and our heavy rescue. What's the best advice you would give yourself if you could go back and give it at that point in your career when you first started riding?
As an officer, if I could give myself any advice, it would be to slow down a little bit and not try to be the absolute best up front. Maybe learn as I go, take it one run at a time type thing, instead of, maybe looking forward to the next 2 runs. Maybe focus on the run I was just on and how I can make myself better from that run.
Right on, brother. Right on. I got so many questions. And of course, you're Bobby Eckert. So there's so many questions coming at you from so many different directions. Craig Coburn wants to know if ISFSI Slicers had its run and everything like that. What's your thoughts? You can go any direction you want with it, but I'm saying.
I'm not good with acronyms. I'm dyslexic.
Fair.
Water goes on fire at the most favorable way to put it out. Firefighters go opposite or above the fire to rescue people that are trapped. I don't know anything else. So there's my take on slicers.
It doesn't get any simpler. Is that what you're saying?
Throw it in the trash and delete it.
There you go. That is Bobby's answer. Logan Hinkle wants to know, how long until the technology catches up with us, requiring dash cams and all apparatus, helmet cameras, qualified immunity for firefighters, et cetera, et cetera. What's your thoughts on technology and where we're at?
I think every firefighter should have a GoPro on them all the time.
Oh, I love it.
There is nothing more in this world that's going to keep you honest, number one. And number two, it's the greatest training tool there is. And number three, I get great reels out of it for Instagram. So let's go.
Right on. Derek Roberts. Love you, my brother. But he asks, when do you give up on the bottom 10%? When do you stop engaging them? What becomes pointless discussions? And I love this question because it's such a, I want to hear your take. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm never going to give up on any firefighter ever, because they're there, right? So if they're there, then if they're in the building, whether their paycheck makes them be there or not, they're there, right? And if we get a run, they're going to be on the run. So I'm not going to give up on them. But if their attitude is so negative that it's bringing me down, then it's time for me to separate. And we're on this professional plane where I am going to speak to you in a professional manner where maybe it's like principal student
Right.
or vice principal student. That's how it's going to be. But there's never a give up for me. I'll always try. And I always think that there's a place for everybody in the fire service where, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you can find a way to fit them in somewhere. Maybe that guy's great at filling the water cooler. Yo, go fill the water cooler.
Right on, dude. I love it. I love the answer because I'm a dreamer and people tell me I'm naive. And when you say like there's a place for everybody in the fire service, I see people saying, yeah, Bobby's just a dreamer.
Well, you can't expect everybody to have the same level of enthusiasm as you do, right?
Right.
Like, I collect helmets and I'm a buff and I'm listening to fires, and I don't expect the guys I work with to have that level of enthusiasm at all. But when we're at work and there's a house fire, you better know how to do your goddamn job. But if you don't know how to do your goddamn job and I'm a company officer, then that's my fault for not showing you.
Hold on a second. I got to timestamp that. If you beat that one, I'll be surprised. But that was pretty damn good. Bobby, James Michelisco wants to know, Bobby, what is your favorite skill or subject to teach and why?
It's a tough one. God.
Do I like anything that makes you think this long? I love it.
I love engine company operations.
Right.
Getting the line to the seat of the fire. I'm not a flow and move guy. I'm a flow and shut down. Flow, knock the fire, shut down, move. Flow, knock the fire down, shut down, move. That's how I do things. It works well for me for where I'm from.
Sure.
I enjoy teaching building instruction. I enjoy force entry. I don't know. I like it all. It's a tough question because I can kind of fit in. But if I had to pick one, swear to God, mask confidence.
Mask confidence.
I have a lot of people come to me and Zoom with me to break their claustrophobia inside a face piece.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I do it often.
I love it. I love the answer. There you go. He says, anything with smoke, baby. Low vis. That's from the Truckee.
Let's go.
Michael Ramirez says, anything and all engine work. Bo Vest said, it's okay to say engine work. And he did it with the emoji with the sunglasses. So I love it. Okay, I'm trying to catch up. Brother, we haven't even got to our questions. I'm just going to keep throwing them at you until you say, hey, go back to something I want to talk about. Logan Hinkle wants to know how long. Oh, well, I got that one. Sorry, Logan. Logan, thank you for the great question. Scott Hope Jr. said, besides practical experience, how do you approach teaching how different facets of building construction react and change during different stages of fire development and variable external factors? Besides practical experience, how do you try to pass that on?
So it's hard. That's a great question. In this day of information technology, I'm not talking about social media like YouTube, Google. Like, you can watch fires. You can watch fires from the 90s, 80s. There's a lot of buff pages out there, and you can watch just watch a fire. Watch how the fire unfolds. Watch what happens to the building. I learned a lot about building instruction and fire travel from being a pump operator. Because after I was set up, I just stood there and watched.
It's hard to argue. I like this question coming. I'm waiting to see if Kyle's grabbing it. I'm catching up. Love it, brother. Hold on one second while I pull up notes. Sponsor. There we go. Jake Deals asking you, Bobby, what is one of the most important topics as a lead instructor to teach to new recruits in the academy?
Mask confidence, everything you can know about that SCBA, everything. Blindfold them and make them know that mask, that breathing apparatus better than they know their significant other's body. Okay?
Right on.
That's yes. That fire behavior.
Boom. Marshall Boyd following up on it. He said, can you expand on the mask confidence, techniques, etc.?
So, it depends on what your phobia is being in a face piece. It's just a comfort. I had a really weird upbringing. My dad was a fireman, and he kind of like when I was a kid raised me to be a fireman.
Sure.
And my dad would put me in if anybody remembers, the elephant face piece with the hose.
Oh wow. Yeah.
My dad would put me in that and black me out, black it out, and he would make me do like maneuvers in my garage and obstacle courses and all kinds of weird stuff. So it's more about having people trip out when it's on their face.
Right.
It's not about the zero visibility. It's about it touching their face and being cinched to their face. So if you get them over that and get them doing things. So what I do is when somebody comes and sees me for a mass confidence issue, I have them do something non-firefighting with their face piece on.
Right.
Then I take away visibility and have them do non-firefighting with their face piece on. When I get a probationary firefighter, I wait till he's there for a month and a half or 2 months. I put his face piece on. I put his gloves on. I put his hood over his face piece. I give him a roll of toilet paper. I turn him around 3 times, and I send him into the bathroom and change the roll of toilet paper.
Right on. Now, do you feel like it's mostly a just uncomfortability of the
psychological thing?
It's psychological. It's not the restricted breathing. It's the
no. It has nothing to do with breathing.
Okay.
It's everything that you've been taught from birth to now is different.
Okay. No,
Right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And especially since we ask you, what's the biggest thing you teach? It's like mass confidence. It's like, no, that's strong, man. Scrolling. I am scrolling. Kyle is throwing up questions at a rapid pace. James Nisbet wants to know, being a hit and move guy, have you encountered a fire where that has not worked for you?
Nope.
There's an easy one-word answer. John Kofit Jr. said, do you treat, I really like this question. I want to hear your answer, especially as a captain. Do you treat every firefighter the same as a company officer in regards to training, or do you put seniority into account, or what comes into account in how you treat people?
That's a good question.
I love it.
Came downstairs the other day, 2 tours ago, and my guys were training without me.
Right on.
They were training without me. There was no rank. There was no seniority. There was no nothing. They were just shooting the shit and working some stuff out. And they were tying hasty harnesses. That's what they were doing. Something mundane, stupid. They were just doing it, and they were timing. They were messing around with it. So I think there could be some seniority to that. Maybe if you have a senior firefighter there, maybe as an officer, step back and say, hey, would you like to run the drill and show your perspective on it? But I think if we're doing something company level, maybe we're all equal, and even you jump in as the officer. Like we have to do, in New Jersey where I work, we wear the PSS, the safety system,
Okay.
the Petzl system, the BLS
Yeah.
system. So we have to refresh every year. I'm usually the first one to do it, like jump out the window prop to show that, like, hey, it's, and a lot of officers I see, because I'm a trainer on it, so I do it on the off groups. A lot of the officers do that too, that like they're the first one out the window. So I think there's a level playing field, and I think there's a playing field where maybe you let seniority take over, and I think there's a spot where it's fun. Everybody kind of engages in their own way. Training's what you make it. Like there's no set whatever. It should be fun. It should be a place where you can make a mistake or you can show some vulnerability. Firemen or firefighters are so afraid to show vulnerability. Show some vulnerability and just say, like, this isn't my jam. I recently just got transferred in June back to a sock company.
Okay.
I haven't touched a rope other than my shoelaces in a long time, like
Right.
6 years, a long time. So trying to get acclimated back into that causes me to let guys that are on 7 years and I'm on 18 years show me some things. It's a level playing field.
Love it. Love it, man. And the absolutely all right, I don't even know where to go. I'm looking at questions that Kyle is throwing up. I really like this one. I want to see your take, and it comes from Preston Lyons out of Colorado. What do you say to the suburban firefighter who wants to instruct and has a lot to teach, but doesn't get a ton of jobs?
So I would encourage you to teach. I would encourage you to teach your experience and your know-how and your fortitude. I would say, like I tell every fire instructor, anybody wanting to instruct anywhere, and the advice that was given to me is start small, go to your local fire academy. You can offer these firefighters a lot.
Right.
See where that takes you. I started the local fire academy, and it took me in a different trajectory. I met some great people, and things expanded for me personally, but who knows where it could take you. Dip your toes in the water. The water's warm. Come on in, man. Come on in.
I love the answer.
There's nothing wrong being an instructor. And seriously, whoever who asked me that, I'm sorry, Corley.
Preston,
reach out to me, man. If you want to talk on the phone about that question, I would love to talk to you about it.
Love it, man. Absolutely. Fit Fire Fortitude is his Instagram page, and he's a good, solid dude. Mentorship versus instruction from Zach Swainson says, can you define the difference? Mentorship versus instruction.
The person who's being mentored has to want to be mentored.
I love it when you get clear answers, man.
You can't mentor somebody that doesn't want to be mentored.
There you go. You can instruct somebody who doesn't want to be instructed.
Yes, absolutely, because they have to know it, right? So right. You have to know that we need to move this to make this work, or it doesn't work, right? So now you know. But if you want to be mentored, I can mentor you along the way, and we can share together a plethora of things.
Thomas Sterling has a great question, but I'm going to reword it to try and be, but he basically says there are a lot of conferences across the country. Do you have any of your favorites that you would like to suggest? That's my rewording of that question, Thomas. Thank you for the question.
I'll say this. I've enjoyed every conference that I've ever been at for a multitude of reasons. So I'm not going to plug one or anyone.
Sure.
I'll plug my own. Taking to the streets, Eckert Fire Tactics. Come see us. There's nothing like it in the world. But get out there, and if it's something local to you, go see. Nothing's a waste of time. Even if the instructing isn't your flavor, the person to the right of you, left of you, front of you, or behind you could be a lifelong friend.
Love it, man. All right. Daniel Harris has a great question. He says, how do you, as a company officer, engage your team when morale and culture is an issue? How do you engage them to be better when they are used to years of just a lackadaisical mindset?
Foster a firefighting environment. Make firefighting the priority. If you make firefighters feel like firefighters, guess what they're going to be when it's on fire? A firefighter. And start small. That can start small. And if this person is a career firefighter, somebody does this for a living, off-duty hangout. Off-duty hangout. Doesn't have to be alcohol infused. I don't know what, I don't want to be that guy to say it's always going to be alcohol infused. You can go to Top Flight, I call it Top Golf, whatever it is. You can go to bowling, you can go to a game, you can go wherever, just whatever. Just get your people out of the firehouse and build something strong, then take it back in the firehouse and build off that.
Boom. I try not to talk over that because that was such a great answer, man. I love that answer, man. And I think it's one of my clips I made of you from one of the earlier scraps where it says, when you create a firefighting culture, firefighters excel. You know what I'm saying? It's just firefighters want to be firefighters. That's wild, it, man. Right? That's it. I don't know how Chiefs lose sight of that.
It's Chiefs that's a whole different scrap.
Okay. You can expound if you feel like it.
No, it's not like I'm never going to take a shot at the Chief. They're busy people.
Sure.
They're busy people. Budgets, paper clips, SCBAs, whatever. Like I'll never be the fire chief because I don't want that job to be the main guy. But if I was, I'm relying on my company officers to hold that shit together.
Right.
It's not my job. I'm going to try to give you equipment and paper clips and paper towels and training and whatever it is, right?
Right?
Like the company officers, yo, get your shit together and mend this. Make it happen. Make it happen. Company officers are it.
Yes.
That's it. The firefighters are the fire service. The company officers the glue, and the firefighters work, right? Not for the company officer. The company officer works for the firefighters. That's it, man. Like it's not you're not the manager of a Sizzler at the salad bar and like, oh, go refill the croutons. No, I need you to help me train on this so we can be better for this. When Nancy calls 911, we're there for her.
Yeah, Kyle Gregory said timestamp. Love that, dude. 100%. I love you said firefighters make it happen. Company officers are the glue, and then so the role of the chiefs. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm loving pulling out from you what you're saying because it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The Chiefs have so much more to worry about.
Okay.
I watch the Chiefs that I work with in the morning. They handle staffing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's take July 6th, 2 days after 4th of July.
Okay.
What do you think staffing's like, right?
Sure. It's vacation time, baby.
Absolutely. It's summer, man. Like
Right.
everybody's off. So staffing's interesting. They're lining up who they're going to call for overtime. And it's roll calls at 7. It's 6:58. Okay. The Chiefs' minds, they're on the phones. And at the same exact time, a house fire drops at 123 Pine Street for heavy fire, people trapped on the second floor. The chief's mind is in staffing. The company officer's mind should be firefighting. Firefighting. Chief, I need a guy. Hang up.
Yeah.
You're stuck waiting for the overtime guy. We have a house fire. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it.
It's July. You ready to sweat? I don't know what to tell you.
I'm trying to look for the next question. Dude, I love it. I really do, man. I'm looking forward to sound biting this. Got you, Bo. Ask that question. What do you teach drill a new guy to your company? First shift out of drill. They're coming at you fresh, out of academy. What's the first thing you teach their drill with them to make sure they know what they're doing? This comes from Josh Webb.
Josh, great guy. Put your turnout gear on. Let me watch you put your turnout gear on.
Love it.
I need to watch you get dressed. As creepy as that sounds, as a little weird as that sounds.
No. That's like you start at the very, very, very basics.
Watch you get dressed.
Yeah. No, I love it, man.
What are you doing? Why are you doing it this way?
Right.
Setting up this way? Because I look at it as a productivity thing. Okay. If you can't get dressed fast enough and get on the rig, then we have a problem. Right? Then from there, where's your SCBA? Get in the rig, put your SCBA on. I want to see you mask up. Let's do your 30-second drill. Let's see how you put your face piece on. Let's see how you go on air. Let's see how you breathe on air.
Right on.
Right? Just because you were in the academy and went on air doesn't mean you know how to breathe on air.
Right on.
That's two different things. Okay? Everybody can pee, but can they pee in the toilet?
No, and I don't want to put you in a box, but saying basically like if a fire dropped, what's the number one skill I need you to do first?
Get your gear on and put your SCBA on. The rest I can grab you and shove you in there.
Right. So it's gear and then SCBA, and then maybe would you move to like pulling the pre-connect?
Or if we're on the engine, I need to let me walk. If we're on the engine,
okay, go.
Or I'm on the truck, it doesn't matter. After I learn those two things about you, here's the driver. Hang out with him for 45 minutes.
Okay.
Go around the rig. Learn what's on the rig. Because if all else fails, 30 minutes into the shift, I can pull the line for you, and I know how to pull it. Okay?
Right.
It's more about what's learning on the rig.
Right.
I would rather you learn what's on the rig than have a line pulling disastrous blunder that you might never recover from.
No, it's beautiful, brother. That's the reason I asked. There's so many good bites. That's not even what I'm after. I like this one. Yeah, Steve Mouse said that's a sound clip. It is, brother. All caps. Absolutely. Christian Cerrone, Bobby, how long does it take for you to believe and have trust in a new guy?
Good question. It's going to take a while, right? So like I'm going to feel you out. It's going to take we are going to need to run some emergencies together because I need to learn things about you in the moment. Because in the moment is where we operate. We can hang out the firehouse. You can love the Flyers. We can eat chicken parm and hang out and do all that stuff. We can even hang out off duty, drink beers, hang whatever. But I need to learn about you in the moment. So the more I observe you and the more I interact with you in the moment is how I'm going to build trust with you. But that's a mutual thing too, because that firefighter, I mean, I always think about the other side of being a new firefighter is, hey, how you doing, captain or lieutenant? I'm here for my first shift. I'm putting my entire life and trust into you to make me a better firefighter. Think of all the firefighters that get assigned to a shitty fire officer. How's their career? How's their trajectory, right? So it's a two-way street. As much as I'm trying to get their trust or learn or get them to trust me, I'm screwing it up. As much as I'm trying to earn their trust, I want them to earn my trust.
Right. No, absolutely.
Ooh,
No,
I couldn't wrap my head around that. I'm sorry.
no.
My public school
The
education.
the spirit of it was there. Like it. I got Preston's question, dude. I'm so many questions, brother. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up. Michael Goldstein, I love this question coming at you, especially because I've never even approached this kind of question to you. But have you ever lost the passion at all in your career or become frustrated with the negativity? I've never actually asked that of you in our mini scraps, man. That's a beautiful question. And if so, what have you done to get it back? So go ahead.
Yes, multiple times.
Okay.
Multiple times for my professional careers as a firefighter where I work and owning my business as me. Yes. I'm actually recently I've been at a lower point because of some of the dramatics that are involved in this thing that we call the fire service.
Sure.
And not a lower point, just kind of like I don't give a fuck anymore.
Right.
And it's more like just trying to get through the weeds and see what's on the other side. So what I do personally is I remove myself. And that's hard because I run an Instagram page. I got to post every day. So
Right.
that's on me. But for you, like anybody in there, take a break, use a sick day, go somewhere, do something non-firefighting. If you have a significant other, put some time into them. You have children, put some time into them. You have a hobby, go check it out. Do something else. Take yourself out of this. Recharge, come back. If you walk in the door and it's the same smell or same feeling, well, at least you're recharged and you're able to have it. Think about it rationally. I always think about it as a mental thing, right? So if I'm mentally defeated, I got to build myself back up mentally to handle that situation, to navigate through it.
Love it. Robert, in fact, out of our planned topics, we've touched on one of them. I want you to know this so far. But Robert Coben has a question for you. He says, today's world of being nice to everyone and HR and everything else, how do you handle a probie, someone on probation who just isn't cut out to do this job? They're just not cut out to do this job. How do you handle that?
I've been in this situation. I have. And I can't talk about it, but I've been in this situation. I can't elaborate on it.
Sure.
But I will say this. I would put them in training in a way where they know this is not for them. And I'm not talking about where it's aggressive, where you're hurting them or whatever.
Yeah, you're not setting them up for failure.
No. I would just make them do things that we do to show them that it's not for them. Okay? So an Alkalite 35-foot ladder. I don't know many people that can raise that ladder alone.
Right. Single
I
thrower.
do know one personally, okay,
No.
but he's a Neanderthal.
There's beasts that can do it. I know. Yeah.
But a 28-foot ladder, Alkalite or duo safety, is the one firefighter raise. Maybe not carry, but raise. So start there, start showing them things, stretching lines, getting a water supply before the tank water runs out. Stuff to show them that we do every day that maybe it's not for them. But at the end of the day, it's their problem.
Right.
Even though it's our problem, it's their problem. But we can work around it. We can work around it. Sometimes they can't. Put it in writing. Put it in writing.
Love it, brother. I absolutely do. And like you said, these are acceptable expectations. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about single throw on a 35.
Yeah, I mean, if you graduated the academy, maybe you were pushed through, but like again, in the days of HR and 2024 and all that stuff, start a paper trail.
Right. And documentation. Documentation is your main defense or offense. I don't even know how the right way to say it.
Day stamp, pay, whatever,
Yeah,
just go
absolutely. Bobby Schutz says, thoughts on making a packet and not being able to ride till different parts of the packet are done. I'm not sure if I have enough information there.
You must
Bobby.
have a lot of staffing. You must have a lot of staffing because in some places, if you have a pulse, you're in.
Right.
So this person has probably a probationary book that they're probably not allowed to ride a certain riding position until they complete the book. I'll say this. What's the person's name? I'm sorry, Corley.
Bobby Schutz.
Bobby. Hopefully, they are giving you the opportunity to complete it fast. If not, I would take it up with a company officer.
Love it, brother. Let's talk about writing assignments. How do you feel about writing assignments? Working fire policies.
So I think in the day of 2024, I'm shocked when I go to places and they don't have writing assignments. And when they give me the excuse of, well, we went to 6 working fires last year, 1 working fire last year, or whatever, it's crazy to me not have a writing assignment for this reason alone. Again, I get it, especially in the volunteer world, everything is who shows up, right? But if 3 people show up, here's how we operate. If 2 people show up, this is how we operate. If 1 person shows up, we don't leave.
Right. Right.
Or, if you're riding the water supply seats and these are your tasks, maybe there's 3 tasks on a card and you don't complete these 3 tasks, then we know who to blame. Then we know where the issue is.
Right.
It isn't a fire department issue. It's an individual training issue that actually falls on the company officer, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the working fire policy, again, in the same thing. Engine 1 goes here. Engine 2 goes here. Engine 3 goes here. Engine 4 goes here. Ladder 1, whatever. So you're not on the radio as a fire chief, as standing in front of working fire saying, Engine 1, I want you to grab a hydrant and lay in. Well, they already know that from the working fire policy. If they train on the working fire policy, if you have one, you should train on it. I have one at work. We train on it. We train on the policy. This is what we do. So as a fire chief, when the battalion chief or assistant chief, deputy chief, whoever is rolling the street, he should expect this unfolding. If it's not unfolding, then he can fall back to the policy and say, who's not doing this? Who's not doing this? Who's not doing that? Then we have a training issue and we need to talk about it.
Right on, brother. Right on. I love it. And it really is local, right? I mean, when you really melt it down, it comes down to how many people are showing up, how many people you got to assign, how many engines are coming to your residential, how many.
And I get it; it's different for everybody. And there's unless you're in an urban city, there's not many places not relying on mutual aid. So, you have to factor it in. But again, I said it. I was just in North Carolina a few months ago at the Passion and Craft Conference. Great human beings, great cause. It was awesome. And I did an engine class. It was the first time I did my engine class in a while, and I was excited to do it. Right. But I said to this, if your second due engine, right? So say you're the first due engine, and you're the second due engine, and your guys run up the street, and the first due engine from neighboring town packs their hose Minuteman and you don't, how good are you going to be pulling that line off the rig?
Right.
It's going to be shitty.
Right.
Everybody knows. I mean, Minuteman, the people who love Minuteman, I get it, the speed of it. But if you don't pack it right, you might as well have a fucking bowl of spaghetti.
Or if they rock a Cleveland like our mutual aid company does, or flat load, or
Triple fold, whatever, double,
triple load, yeah, absolutely.
Like, so you got to get out with these people and train with them.
Absolutely.
And in training with them, you build camaraderie. In camaraderie, there's less drama. In less drama, there's positivity. And this should be the most positive thing in the world.
Love it. I absolutely love it, man. Train with your mutual aids, train with your auto aids, make it seamless. And man, assignments way before that header is in the sky, having assignments and responsibilities and accountabilities. Fire service, negativity versus positivity. Thoughts?
We're surrounded by negativity. We're surrounded by experts. There's no experts in firefighting. None. Zero. Anybody tells you an expert in firefighting, they're full of shit because you're only as good as your last working fire. That's it. And if your last working fire was 30 years ago, I don't know what to tell you. Because the fire service is evolving. It's changing. Things are going on. I respect the experience you have. I respect what you've done in the past. But there's a whole new thing going on right now, and you got to be hip to what's going on. So I don't know. I think the negativity revolves around people's egos. I think the negativity revolves around people selling snake oil or a product or whatever. People trying to make money off the fire service, all that stuff. I think that's
Sure.
part of it. I think positivity starts with looking around the room at the people that are in it and realizing that if there is a house on fire, those are the people that are going to be there assisting you, and you better make sure they are squared away or know what you know so that the incident evolves and stabilizes the people that call us to be out there.
I love it, brother. I don't even know.
I also think that with the with social media and high behind keyboards, I think if people could get physically beat up, things would be different.
Absolutely, man. I'm trying to remember the quote where they talked about. It's an old West quote where it's talking about where men used to carry 6 guns on their hips, and it was a much more polite society when you could get shot for being rude. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, people have no problem coming at you with baseless information, and some people, depending on, everybody's different, right?
Right.
You might take it to heart. You might say something to somebody to the point where they're already having a bad day, from family issues to financial issues to relationship issues. They might go home. That one thing you might say to that person is negative. They might go home, put a pistol in their mouth, and pull the trigger.
Right. No, that's a deep perspective.
I'll talk mental health all day long. I will talk it all day long because I'll tell you what, we're here for each other. If we don't have each other, what else do we have? City Hall doesn't like us. Our fire chief's a pain in the ass, right? What else do we have?
I don't even want to step on you, man. Right there is like such a beautiful message, man. If we don't look out for each other, if we don't care for each other, I don't care whether we're talking about across the country through social media, through Facebook.
Check in, send a text, bro. Send a text. Yes. How you doing? Everything all right?
I don't even want to bring up like standards. I want to bring it up because I want to get like just your current take and say, NFPA. What do we need to get? What direction do we need to steer the ship?
We need to sink the ship and rebuild it. There's people out there that support this organization that don't even know what they're supporting. They have no idea. Let's talk staffing. Let's talk turnout gear. Let's talk the carcinogens that NFPA requires to be in our tourniquet gear that give us cancer and kill us. But people want to support helmets? Helmets? I've had a traumatic brain injury on the job. On the job, I had a traumatic brain injury, and I was wearing a compliant helmet. And I was blind, pissed my pants, and couldn't walk for days. So I think everybody's injury is different. I think quoting stats, but if I join the NFPA for $175 a year or whatever it is, what do I get out of it? Do they teach me how to be a better firefighter? Do they make me a better fire instructor? Do they push people to be better firefighters? I don't know. I don't see. I've been in the fire service. I'm a second-generation fireman. I'm 40 years old. I have yet to see the NFPA on the fire floor because I don't think the NFPA cares about the people that are trapped. I care about the people that are trapped. That's what I care about. I just bought a pair of Pro Warrington boots, the old style, square toe, $19.99, brand new on eBay. They're pristine. Love them. They've been in a box for 20 years. You mean to tell me because they've been on a shelf for 20 years and never been used, they're not compliant? I can't wait to wear them. I can't wait. I'll say this. There are some committees on NFPA that are trying to do good with good people on them.
Sure.
But sadly, they're overshadowed by all these other people that want to poke at safety. I'm here to tell anybody that is in the safety realm of the fire service, it's impossible to be safe at a working fire.
Bro.
It's impossible. Impossible. It's an uncontrolled environment where anything can happen. Focus your shift on interior firefighting tactics and the entry-level firefighter training, building instruction, fire behavior, all that stuff, and making firefighters better, the better product. The better product when they leave the academy, and things will get better.
I want to say a few things, which is, I think a lot of the people that work for the NFPA or volunteer their time for it. The volunteers specifically.
What about the people that are making $330,000 of work for the NFPA?
Dude,
they never even been in a fire.
When you listen to Lombardo talk about the numbers they make.
Chief Lombardo is 1,000% correct in everything he says, and I have the utmost respect for that man.
No, 100%. And but you're talking about hundreds of thousands. He's talking about millions. But that's not the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that actually volunteer and trying to make the service better. But then we have to separate the manufacturers from setting the standard for us. Why are the people that are making our gear setting the standard for us?
They got to make their money.
Like that's insane to me that a helmet that can sit in a box, like you said, for 10 years, but it's never been used. It's never seen the light of day, but it's out of compliance. Why? No, because the manufacturer wants to make another one and they're involved in setting the standard.
To make money.
And here's the other thing.
Not money. It's a Ponzi scheme.
We had to talk about this earlier. It's like your bunker gear. It's out of date, 10 years. It's out of compliance after 10 years, right? I don't know the numbers. So let's just say.
But Corley, if it sits in a bag, if I get it.
No, here, it's even deeper.
1st.
It's even deeper, brother. Like if the manufacturer has a bolt of Kevlar or Nomex or insert whatever.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, and they got to buy new one. I get it.
It can sit on the shelf for 20 years and they can make the gear and then the gear is good for 10 because it's not, they're making the standard. Anyway.
Whole other scrap.
Yeah. We opened it. Dude, we gotta separate the manufacturers from creating the standard for firefighting.
We need to have the people advocating for the fire service. The people that advocate for the fire service need to be in touch with the street level firefighter that's on the street every day fighting fires.
Firefighters need to create the standard for fighting fire. Then manufacturers can try to meet that.
100%.
They don't get to create it.
I agree. But the people that advocate for this safety are people that are so out of touch with fire experience, it's not even funny.
Right on.
And everybody wants to go helmets. Listen, anybody wants to talk traumatic brain injuries, I'm available. Find my information. Find it.
I love it. Sorry, dude. I had to bring it up because it's a passion of mine. We got to get the money. It's always follow the money. It's always follow the
They
money.
need to sink that ship with a torpedo with everybody on it and rebuild it.
And if you haven't seen Chief Lombardo, I wish I would have done my research and had the number set aside. Look up Chief Lombardo's scrap. He talks about it.
He pulls the numbers up. He pulls the numbers up.
The amount of money, and he backs it up. It's actually backed up data. The amount of money the heads of that make. It's a money making, not the groundwork grunts who volunteer their time and
test hose and do the
right
thing
and do all the things and try to make the service better. It's the top end, man. It's a scam. So yeah, Chief Lombardo is epic, 100%. All right. Sorry, dude. You got yeah.
Way to go, Corley.
I know. I was gonna be so respectful. Bobby brings it out. That's all there is to it. All right, Bobby, book or books you think firefighters should be reading?
All right, so I knew you were going to do this to me, and I was ready for it. So I'll never not promote Chief Dunn's Collapse of Burning Buildings.
Love it.
I never won't.
Especially second edition.
Second edition because it's post 9/11.
Right.
I brought this book up last time I was in the scrap. I'm gonna always promote it again. It's Leadership Values by Chief Appleby from Philadelphia. It's a great book. You can get on Amazon. Great read.
It's got Post-it notes sticking out of it everywhere there.
Yeah. Emmanuel Freed, Fireground Tactics. If you can find it, good luck. I have 2 copies. I can rent you one. My kids go to Catholic school. We're always looking for ways to make
looking for ways to.
Yeah. But I did pull out a new one.
Okay.
It's not new. It's old.
Sure.
Let me see when it was printed. It's probably going to be 60s-ish. Doesn't say. So this is Firefighting Strategy and Leadership by Chief Walsh out of the New York City Fire Department.
Walsh.
Yes.
I've not seen that one.
This is the first edition. There's a second edition. I have both. I prefer the first rather than the second. It's an older read, but there is a lot of great information in there. Again, it's dated, but a lot of good information in there.
Dude, I love it. I love especially the old text you bring up, like Chief Walsh. I wonder how long he was in as a chief position in the FDNY. You know what I'm saying?
Where's his bio?
It's probably in there.
He was Deputy Chief New York City Fire Department. He worked at Queens College in Rutgers, and he dedicated his book to his wife, copyright 1963.
There you go. The guy.
It's a little older. Again, you got to take the information, absorb it, but the practicality
to process it. Yeah, you got to apply it. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Dude, I love it, man. I love the fact, and that's what I love about you, man, is I always can expect curveballs coming from Bobby Eckert. Here we go. The 5 questions for firefighters. I'm excited about this, man, because you've had 2 versions, but this is my favorite version so far. But I'm going to ask you these. This is version 3.2. It's the 3rd iteration of questions asked over the history of the scrap. And so, number 1, and I'll give you the rules, even though you've heard them before. There are no right or wrong answers. There's just your opinions. The points are assigned, and they're arbitrary, assigned by me with the help of the studio audience. So all that being said, are you ready for the 5 questions for firefighters version 3.2?
You've got me all day with it, so I'm ready. I
all right.
In my mind all day.
What is the skill that has carried you through your fire service career?
So I'm going to give 2. If that's okay with you, because there's no right or wrong answers. Okay.
We'll see what the audience thinks. I'm holding judgment.
Okay. The ability to unmercifully get my balls broken to the point where it's borderline inappropriate. I've been able to handle that very well. Very well. Number 2 is the ability to have comfort in zero visibility, and I have my father to thank for that 1,000%. It's just that's our work environment. Our work environment is zero visibility. So when I get in that environment, I never really have much anxiety. It's usually like, okay, let's go work the problem.
I'm looking to see what the audience is saying. I'll give you what the audience says in a second. Here's what I'm saying is, A, you basically had a really elaborate and very eloquent answer for saying humility, which is badass, man. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world. So you would already get max points there, but then you followed it up with a callback to the elephant trunk and your dad, making you run around in zero viz. And so I'll read you what everybody said. Long answer for grit. Hell yeah. Max freaking points ×2. Jake Deal said 100 max points. Maximus points right there. Thick skin matters. Give it. Yeah. So yeah, dude, normally I'm like hesitant when people say 2 answers because I'm like, hold up. Max points ×2. Love it. Number 2. I love this question. I want to hear what it is. I honestly thought this one might have held you up for a minute, but you said no earlier. So I'm like, what? It's Jobtown. It's time. You're en route and responding. You got to think of the scene from Backdraft, slapping the tape deck. What is the song you are playing en route?
Megadeth, Trust. About 15 seconds in, when the drums are beaten and they change over. Megadeth's better than Metallica. If you watch the Metallica documentary, when they're a bunch of whining crybabies, I lost it all for them. Dave Mustaine, Megadeth, all day long.
Woo! I don't know if I can go with the whole Megadeth is better than Metallica, Dave Mustaine, etc. over Hatfield, but I absolutely love it. There is a Spotify playlist. They're keeping track of all of these, and they keep getting added, and so you can listen to everybody's answer. And so, Trust, Megadeth will be added. Although some of my favorite, especially late 80s, early 90s, just riffs came from Megadeth. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, someone said Symphony of Destruction. There's so many rocker horns coming up. Truth, shots fired, max points. Shots fired. Hell yes, max points. I love it, dude. Okay, absolutely love it. 2 for 2. Number 3, coming at you. What is your favorite fire service tradition?
This is another tough one for me. Okay. So I'm gonna give a 2-part answer. Okay.
Okay. We'll see. That's always dangerous, but we'll see.
All right. Number 1 is serving the public. I know that sounds lame and whatever, but we have a tradition of when somebody calls us, we show up and we give them a product, right? So I always think of the product. We work for somebody else as the public. So my favorite tradition is giving back to the people that need us the most. But my second favorite tradition is the meal.
Fire service dinner, lunch,
whatever. Just getting together
on the weekend, whatever it is.
Just eating, just getting together and eating, man. Yeah, just hanging out and eating.
I'm going to see what people say because I love it, man. Here's the deal. There is nothing I connect with better than the fact that we exist to serve the public. Does that make sense? Like that's
what we're here for. Yeah,
that's it. You take that away, we go away, right? 100%. Great answer. Yeah, Scott Thompson said, "Great." Scott Thompson just gave you max points.
Thanks, Chief. Great.
Kitchen table time. Bobby just broke the internet. More people need to think like that. Max points for that. Yes, max points. Yeah, you just won. You got to do 2 double answers and get max points. So you're kind of breaking the system here. Max points for max carbs. That came from Scott Hoke. If only everyone had the same attitude. No, brother, I love it, man. When you connect our mission to be in your favorite tradition, and I love the dinner table. So that absolutely. This one is the one. It's on the clock. This one you get 1 minute to answer. It is all about who are the 4 people you would put on your Mount Rushmore of the fire service. Sam's going to put 1 minute on the clock, and when I say go, you're going to get a chance to answer. That's all you got. 1 minute and go.
I'm going to put Chief Dunn up there because he's done more for people that have learning disabilities than anybody because he writes his books at an 8th grade reading level, a 6th grade reading level. Okay, so Chief Dunn is up there. It's going to be local to me. Chief Joe Marini, who was the Camden Fire Chief, he did a lot for me, and he was an unbelievable leader and a great guy. So that's 2. Number 3 is going to be my father. I got to put my father up there in the top 4. You know, my dad has done so much to me, and I can't put the fourth one in a plural way it's going to be my entire staff that I work with, my entire staff that I have at Eckert Fire Tactics, because they all deserve to be up there because they're absolutely fucking rock stars at what they do, delivering fire tactics all the time.
Right on, brother. Right on. With 6 seconds to spare, Vinny Dunn, Morini, did I say it right? Chief Morini?
Joe Morini.
Okay. Your father, I can't knock that, and your staff. Dude, I love the answer. I'll give it max points. I give it 1 point with 6 seconds to spare. Absolutely. And the final question, you've had this question twice before, because this question never changes. So it can be the same answer. So that's fine. Or it could be something that's changed because you've changed. I don't know. Heavy fire, searchable space. Would you rather be assigned to the nozzle or first in on VES?
I'm going to pick the nozzle again. I'm going to stay consistent with my answer, but I'm going to say this.
Okay.
You go on VS with maybe it's one spot of survivable space and the nozzleman sucks. You're not going to last long in that situation. You're going to get chased right back out. So I want to be the firefighter putting the fire out. And to be honest with you, I haven't had the nozzle for like almost 8 years, and I VS plenty of times as a captain. So maybe I have FOMO.
It's the absence of the heart growing fonder.
Maybe I have FOMO.
I love it, man. Steve Mott said it best. 7 out of 5 max points. Engine work, baby. F yes. Love it. EFT fellas are the best. That come from David Stender. Absolutely, man. Eckert Fire Tactics representing. And that officially is the 5 questions for firefighters for the third time, according to Bobby Eckert. And that makes it officially 222 scraps in the books. My brother, Bobby Eckert, first of all, what an amazing evening. Thank you for sharing it with us. But how can people get a hold of you if they want to do so?
So a couple things. Number one, if you want to get a hold of me, just follow me. Follow Eckert Fire Tactics on Facebook, EckertFireTactics.com, Eckert_335 on Instagram. That's where I do my most damage. I want to say this, if you don't mind, Corley, I just want to plug my book.
No, dude, 100%. Tuesdays are for tactics, baby.
I'm ever going to print these books. I'm done printing them. So Tuesday for Tactics, Volume 1 and Volume 2. They 52 tactical tips each one. It's literally a picture and a tip. Okay, great for toilet, fireman friendly. It's written on your level and my level. I have a volume 3 coming out that I'm shooting for St. Patrick's Day. I'm putting all of it into this. I am never going to reprint these again, ever. $47.50 shipped each one. Go to my website, EckertFireTactics.com. If you need to get a hold of us, I answer all my direct messages. You can email us, get a hold of me. Any question, I swear to God, I will answer it. If I don't know the answer, I will find somebody who knows it, and I will get back to you.
Love it, dude. Tuesdays are for tactics. If you don't have it, he's not printing them anymore. I don't even know why you say that. Why would you say that?
Because I don't like shipping them. I don't care about money. It's not a big deal to me.
We'll talk about it. They are a value. But no, 100%, man. If you haven't got a copy, 52 articles, one for every Tuesday of the year, so that you can look at them. And then episode
Volume 3 is due out.
3.
It's what we are. I'm full steam ahead with it.
Okay.
So I'm shooting for St. Patrick's Day 2020.
All right. I love it, man. Okay. I had to say my own piece on it. Where am I at? I'm going to find it. Thank you so much. Go to firehousevigilance.com. If you're not a vigilante, you should go become one. It's $5 a month. It's the price of a cup of coffee, blah, 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 all that stuff. The Vigilante Swag Shop is live right now for Christmas. We just restocked hoodies and shirts and all that stuff. And we were actually selling for a loss. We didn't realize this. My wife actually said, hey,
it happens. You're in. This is why I don't get involved.
I know.
Rough out there, dude.
And so I was like, we were selling them, but we were losing money on them. But so we raised them by a couple bucks, and it puts it kind of in the yeah. So anyway, long story short, go become a part of it. It's awesome. Go grab some Christmas gifts if you're not a vigilante. The other cool part is when the scrap is over, Bobby's already agreed, so he has to come. He has to show up. But the vigilantes get to show up, and we get to bust his balls for all of his answers and everything we get to do. Now, no one ever does it. We always say
it's not recorded, right, Chief?
It's not by me. I'll put it this way. I don't record it. Other people may. But we're supposed to roast him. So we're still working on how to roast because we haven't quite figured that part out. But we're working on it. So all that being said, go sign up so that you can be a part of the future vigilante after parties. They're awesome. I will post the link here in a minute. Coming up next week, Jared Sergi. Man, looking forward to him. He hasn't been on since like number 34. Amazing, amazing person. Followed up by the legend. His name is John Salka. He's coming on to talk. So the scraps for the next 2 weeks are amazing. The final few weeks of 2023 is going strong. I'll post a link in the vigilante party. If you register fast enough, Sam will get you in there. No pressure, Sam. And other than that, I got it all. Audience, thank you for tuning in tonight. Right now, there's 162 people still sitting here, still asking questions, still listening to me and Bobby bullshit with each other. I thank you so much for making the scrap magical each and every week. Without you, I don't know. It'd be me and Bobby talking to each other, which is great. But without you, you guys make the scrap magical. Sorry, Bobby, I didn't mean to walk on you.
No, you're good. I mean, hey, if anybody has any questions, just send them to me, man. I'll get back to you.
No, there's nobody better than Bobby at answering questions. Thank you for tuning in live. I love you all. Thank you, Bobby, for spending your evening with us this evening. Remember, mutts don't scrap. I hope the tones stay silent unless it is burning. Everybody, stay safe out there.